Greetings! Welcome to the Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be covering revolvers. There are several kinds of revolvers in H3, double action and single action, and they have very different control schemes and modes of operation. We're going to start with the double action ones. So I've got an SW Model 29 here, nice big beefy 44 Magnum revolver, and I have a speed loader for it. Many double action revolvers have speed loaders in H3. A few don't though, but we're going to cover these first. So I'm going to drop this in, I'm going to spawn lock it just like it was a magazine, and then I need to open the swing arm on my revolver. I do this by clicking left on the touchpad, which will swing it open there. I can take the speed loader here, press it against the back, which will load it, and I can either flick the revolver shut, or if it's open, I can grab the cylinder and just drag it up towards the revolver. Based on your controller geometry and what platform you're using, it may sometimes be difficult to get rounds or a speed loader in at that cylinder. For this reason, if you click right on the touchpad for a double action revolver, it will flip the gun around, which can be easier to get a speed loader in certain cases. So let's go ahead and fire this. This is a double action revolver, which means we don't have to cock the hammer manually beforehand. We can just aim it and fire. But if we want to cock the hammer first, because that's just fun sometimes, we can click down on the touchpad and fire it like so. So our revolver is now empty. We flip out the swing arm, and then to dump the rounds, we can either place our controller over the ejector here and pull the trigger, or we can just jerk the revolver towards us rapidly to empty the chambers. Go like so, load that up, fire away, and then when we're done, we can click hold up on the touchpad, and we can spin our revolver. Wow. Wonderful. So that is a double action revolver. Now you might be asking, well, what about the revolvers that don't have speed loaders? What is the best way to use that? So I've got an old Model 10 here. This is a 38 Special, and I've got a single 38 Special round. I'm going to put that in my quick belt slot, spawn lock it by clicking touchpad over it. I'm going to duplicate it like so, and duplicate because this revolver holds 6 shots. You don't have to lay them out on the table here, but I'm doing it just so that you can see. And then I'm going to pick these up, just like we saw in our ammo video. I can then palm these by clicking down on the touchpad while touching the rounds together to grab them all up. And then I can press up on the touchpad to dump these all into my quick belt slot. I now have 6 in here, which means I can pull a handful of 6 out, load these all into the cylinder like so, snap it shut. Wonderful. Swing that out, pull back to dump out. And that is how you use double action revolvers that don't have speed loaders. Now lastly, we've got our single action revolvers. Now these are a little bit more cumbersome to both load and unload, what with them being older style revolvers largely. So I'm going to go ahead and pop around in here. I'm going to do the same thing as before, where I'm going to make sure I've got 6 of these in my quick belt. So the way that single actions work is that we have to go into what's called half cock to load them. We click left on the touchpad, and that will move the revolver forward in our hand, and it will open this little blocker on the right. We then pick up our rounds, put them in our hand. We insert one at a time, click right on the touchpad to advance the cylinder, and repeat until the revolver is loaded. We then click left on the touchpad again to come out of half cock. And now I can, if I pull the trigger here, nothing's going to happen. This is a single action revolver, which means before every shot, I actually have to cock the hammer. I just did so by waving my hand past it, so I'm going to fire here. So we can either click down on the touchpad to cock the hammer, or we can wave our hand by it, like that. What this means go ahead and empty that, is that we can actually fan fire that, which I'll do in a moment. So to unload this, once we fired all our shots, we go back into half cock, and you can either press the extractor up front here for each round, or just pull the trigger. So I'm going to pull the trigger to dump around, right on the touchpad to move it forward, over and over, until we are empty. We're going to reload this. And now you know why gunfighters carried several of these preloaded. Come out of half cock, and now to fan fire this, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger with it not being cocked. I'm going to bring my hand up here, and I'm going to wave my hand really fast past the hammer. Here we go. Boom! And that is how you fan fire a single action revolver, as well as use all of the types of revolvers in H3. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.